I think I would classify this as our second annual January thaw. This is a big reason why waterways are important. The water is draining off the hillside up here across the county road, and if we didn't have a waterway in here, there would be some pretty good erosion going on. I can see that the water is spilling over into our field quite a bit, which, yeah, maybe the waterway should be a little bit bigger. This is a lot more water flow than anything I've really seen down here. Usually the water, when it does this, isn't too bad. We just got a special weather statement this morning saying to watch out for situations like this where there is maybe a little bit on the thicker streams. This is just a waterway. Usually there isn't water here, but on other like streams, what happens is that the ice on top, when the rivers start to overflow, the ice on top starts to break away, and it can go and it can escape and kind of ends up in farmers' fields. Luckily, we're kind of on the upper edge of this drainage area, but I mean, further downstream, if there are any larger rivers that had ice sitting on top, they can flood and can cause some problems, taking out fences and whatever else, and ended up in people's fields. So this is what I mean as far as the ice chunks coming up, kind of blocking the flow of water. It's not quite that bad yet, but what tends to happen is that as the ice starts to bunch up like this, at points like bridges or any other spot where it can kind of just clump up, it tends to block the flow of water and does this. Now, I don't really know if it was last year or if it was the year before, but I think it might have been last year. This exact same thing happened, except it was a little bit worse. And what happened is that all of the ice got pushed up into the field, and this whole bottom area down here flooded. And it was a pretty good disaster area for a while until the ice all melted. But that's one of the things why, as farmers, we try to avoid bottom ground, because in areas like this, they are pretty subject to flooding, especially during the summertime. We're not ones who are really crazy about doing bottom ground for that reason, because one of Travis's friends actually, this past year, one of their bottoms flooded, and he was telling us stories about how the corn was basically a total loss, and they had to go through and chop it up. But the problem is that when the river flooded, all of the water brought trees and tree branches and just laid them down right in the corn. So there are tree branches laying on top of the corn stalks, and as they were driving along, they would run into the corn or run into the tree branches, and they'd have problems with running. They'd have to stop and get out and pull the tree branch out, get rid of it, and start all over just to find another one 10 feet down the row. So I don't know. On the other hand, bottom ground like this on the right year, such as a wet year, bottom ground will perform the best because of the moisture that's in the ground. And when the river floods, it does bring up good nutrients that tend to yield pretty good as far as the corn and beans go. That's one of the things that they say is that any kind of river dirt that a river can deposit into your field, it brings a lot of good nutrients that can really bump up your yields. But I like to say that, you know, on years like this past one where it floods, that kind of makes up for it, because one year you might not have anything, and then in another year you might have 300 bushel yields. So we just drove around because I saw it on the Weather Channel. There was a special weather statement that they were saying that the rivers were starting to do this. And I wanted to see how bad it really was. It's not near as bad as it was last year, but it could get there, I guess. I mean, it is just January. It very well could do another freeze and thaw. But anyway, all right, back to the truck. There goes a whole tree. Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Travis and I are back at it again. We are putting bales out for the cattle down at Travis's place. However, earlier this week, we got that rain followed by freezing, which resulted in many of the streams being flooded, which I'm gonna put at the beginning of this video. And since then, we've been getting a lot of freeze and thaw over the last few days, and that has resulted in the field road down at Travis's place being very muddy. However, thanks to the 7600 having mechanical front wheel drive, that's not really much of a problem. In a previous video of mine, I had said that the 7600 has four-wheel drive. Some people took offense to it. However, I just say four-wheel drive on any tractors that have any kind of front wheel assist because I think it's a lot easier to say. And a lot of people understand four-wheel drive better than they stand front wheel assist. So I'm going to explain the difference between a mechanical front wheel drive tractor and a four-wheel drive tractor. So in the ag world, when someone says four-wheel drive tractor, usually the first thing that people tend to think of is a large articulated tractor that is four-wheel drive all the time. And these are these tractors that have equally sized wheels in the front and back. They're the large articulates. I'm sure that many of you have seen them before, if not all of you. However, with tractors like the 7600, they have something known as mechanical front wheel drive. Since the tires on the front are different size than the tires on the back, it's really not good to have the front wheel tires engaged four-wheel drive all the time because that can lead to higher tire wear. And so what they came up with was the concept of mechanical front wheel drive. And essentially all it really is just the ability to turn off the front wheel assist on the tractors at any given time. Supposedly on the large four-wheel drive tractors, you can't turn them off. I've never driven a large articulate, but that's what I've read up on, and that's what they say. So you can't turn off the four-wheel drive on a four-wheel drive tractor. On a mechanical front-wheel drive tractor, you can. And the reason that they came up with this whole different concept is because with the tire slippage, you have a lot of tire wear. So by being able to turn off the front wheel assist on these tractors, you can reduce the tire wear. And what it actually does automatically is if you have it on auto, like I have it set to now, the front wheel drive is engaged currently. It'll disengage when I push down either of the brake pedals separately. So there it's off now. There it's back on. And the other situation where it would, I'm trying to multitask here. The other situation where it would automatically turn off is when you go over a set speed. I believe it's 11.6 miles per hour. Not totally sure if that's the exact, but I'm pretty sure it's, for most tractors, it's right around there. So when people had commented, that's not a four-wheel drive tractor, I'm like, crap, you know, you're right. Technically, it's not generally referred to as that. But to me, I think that a lot of people just have a better time understanding when I say four-wheel drive rather than something like mechanical front-wheel drive. So that is the difference. There are a lot of different types of front-wheel assist vehicles out there. On some machines, you know, a vehicle might have front wheel assist, which front wheel assist is different from mechanical front wheel drive because with front wheel assist, the front wheels may not necessarily be intended to be engaged all the time. They just move for the sake of, say you're stuck and you need to get out of somewhere so you can turn it on. And generally what happens there is the front wheels may turn at a different speed than the back wheels. They aren't really designed to run on all the time, and that is what the mechanical front wheel drive tractors are made for, is to be on all the time. But they do have the option to be shut off to save on tires. So hopefully that cleared up some of the things that I had said earlier about this being a four-wheel drive tractor. No, it's technically not. So I am going to be taking over Rhino Ag's Facebook page on February 13th. At least that's the plan right now. I'm going to be taking over for them, and I'm going to be giving away some Rhino Ag stuff. So if you are interested, be sure to head to Rhino Ag's Facebook page, follow on there. Right now I think the date is set for February 13th, and that is right before the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky, that I will be attending on the 16th of February, and I'm pretty sure that's that Friday. So I just want to let everybody know what we're doing, where we'll be. Right now I think Mom and Dad are actually planning on going down to the show. I'm not guaranteeing that they'll be down at the booth with me, but they were talking like they were interested in going. So I don't know, if you go, maybe you'll see them there. Some of you may have noticed that I have not been keeping up with my upload schedule very well, and I'm sorry for that. One of the reasons for that is because, you know, we are doing just about the same thing all the time. In the winter, for us, mostly just boils down to feeding the cattle. And second of all, I have been extremely stressed lately. I've got some things going on that has cranked my stress level up to 11 out of 10. So I haven't really wanted that to really show on my videos at all. So I've kind of been holding back on recording stuff. I've kind of, usually when I get stressed, I withdraw myself and I don't really talk. I just kind of keep it to myself. And I mean, everybody around me can tell that I'm stressed out, obviously. But it's just one of those things. Life has its normal twists and turns. We all go through periods of stress, and this is one of mine. So I just wanted to apologize for not keeping up with my upload schedule. And you know, we do have some things that I'm planning on recording. I got the drone all ready to go. I crashed it a while back in my first winter video. Actually, I crashed it, so I went and got that all fixed up, and I'm ready to record our next video of us actually doing something other than feeding cattle. So I don't know, just with taxes and everything, this time of year is just extremely stressful for me. So anyway, that's part of the reason why I haven't been keeping to a strict schedule like I normally do. I'm gonna upload this video tomorrow just to keep you guys updated. I haven't posted a video at all this week, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering where I've been. I've been seeing a couple comments like, hey, why didn't you upload a video today? Part of that reason is because of what I just said, between the stress and, you know, doing the same thing every day. I'll wait for us to do something different before I'll go out and start recording myself, because I don't make a video for nothing, you know. And I'm not really one, when I don't have a video to post, you know, I don't get desperate and try to, you know, make a dramatic video about stuff like a lot of other YouTubers do. I'm not talking about anybody in the ag world, but I'm just talking about like YouTube bloggers in general. So anyway, I hope you guys kind of understand me as far as the stress level goes, and I'm sure you all have been there as well. So just keeping you guys updated on everything and how things are going. Just thought I'd share and keep you guys up to date. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.